employers care about skills and not tools is the biggest crock of that I've ever heard. Not my quote, but a comment from a frustrated user online. But it exemplifies what you've been feeling if you've been rejected. If you haven't checked a stupid software box, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can be a master at data visualization, know how to clean and transform raw data, and even be proficient in Python and SQL. But if you don't check the box of Power BI or Tableau, good luck in today's market, especially for the jobs requiring it. This is the reality of hiring in data analytics and is something that a lot of users, including myself, wish I knew years ago. I'm Jeff, and I first became a data analyst over 13 years ago, and since then I've worked my way up to becoming a data analyst consultant at United Health Group, where I've helped on the hiring side, so I understand what it takes to stand out in the process. So my mission is to help 10,000 people break into data analytics, and I do that by sharing weekly actionable insights to get you hired. So if you're serious about starting your data journey, hit that subscribe button so you can be one of those people. Now, let's dive in. Let's go back to that story of that frustrated person and what they posted online. Someone on Reddit posted that they worked about 3 years as a data analyst, had a master in business, and was fluent with Python, SQL, and a niche data visualization software called HighCharts. But they were talking and frustrated about how they were getting rejected over and over again for not having Power BI and Tableau, even though they could replicate and do a better job inside HighCharts and through other tools. And that's where he started to understand we've all been lied to. At least with the advice that you hear online that's floating around, that recruiters and hiring managers don't care about tools, they care about skills. This is actually something that I've never heard about and never personally ran into in like my personal professional life. Because if I heard it, I would have said the complete opposite. Hiring managers and your future teammates definitely care about the tools that you can use rather than the skills that you have. From my own example and from my own department, how we've hired people, we want people who can contribute immediately to the team on the tools and the platforms that we use. Having skills that are relevant are nice, but if you're going to require additional training or experience, we're going to lean towards choosing other candidates who have experience on those tools and software unless you're being hired to solve a specific problem and it's software agnostic where it doesn't even matter. But if you're being hired into a role to support a team, then we want you to be able to use those tools. So when you're applying to these different jobs, if it's inside the job description, take the time to at least be familiar with it and take the time to at least get to a beginner level proficiency because you want to eventually replicate the work. Even though you can do a better job in a different software, you want to replicate the work inside these tools, even if your current role doesn't require them, so that you can talk about it in interviews. Because there's a reason why all of these different companies are asking for it. It's because it's a major tool and it's integrated into their entire workflow in their processes. And they're not going to want to upend their processes that are already working for you to use a different tool if it's easier for you. You have to think about it as the business and the problems that you're going to be solving for the business. They're not going to want to hire somebody who's going to make their lives harder for their clients, for the business, when somebody else could do it with the tools that they're asking for. There's probably going to be specific reasons why they have to use these tools. Maybe upper management prefers them. Maybe they meet client demands. Maybe they already have their data pipelines and other processes already built around them, so it's going to be costly. Maybe they have outdated systems because of compliance and they're unwilling to build new tools around that. Maybe they're budget constraint as well. And here's the unfortunate truth, it's usually in the beginning about making sure that you check those boxes, then having those actual skills. Because the ATS systems, the filtering systems will filter you out. And even when you get to the interview, if you do not have these skills, these are going to be competitive roles, and you're going to have a lot of candidates who took the time and have more experience than you. So you need to stand out and at least have the experience to get you in that conversation for the end result, for the end interview, for you to be chosen by the hiring manager. And something to note is that most general recruiters don't know how to evaluate your data skills. They don't care that you can create advanced visualizations in Excel or Crystal reports if that's not required. If it's required for you to have Power BI and Tableau, then they want to see Power BI and Tableau in your resume. Hiring managers are also risk adverse. If they have 200 applicants, why take the chance on someone who can learn it in a weekend when they have 50 people who already put in the work to use it and learn it and have the experience in it? So, what is the fix to how to stop getting rejected or at least get rejected less? So, here's what I would do if I was that user in this situation. I would start learning it now so that you could say you know it, and then you can explain where you are inside your journey during these interviews. That will help you get past all of these filters because you'll have it inside your resume. If he's this skilled in data visualization and has this much experience as he says he has, my guess is he could learn Power BI in 1 to 2 weeks just to get a basic level, 3 to 6 weeks to get to an intermediate level, and then 2 to 3 months to get to an advanced level with a portfolio project. And then, to be honest, if he dedicated and freed up enough of his time, he could probably learn this significantly faster than this. So, this is just more of a conservative estimate depending on where he's at. And this is all positioning you inside your interview to be able to say, instead of saying, no, I haven't used it, you can say, yes, I've used it, and I can walk you through a dashboard that I built. And then make sure that inside your portfolio, you actually build one inside Power BI or Tableau to back it up. Also, rewrite your resume, your LinkedIn to highlight this. So instead of saying, in this person's case, I use high charts, you want to reframe it in this way: developed interactive dashboards, experience with high charts and Power BI. And then during your interview, they'll go into more detail, but at least this will get your foot in the door and won't get you filtered out immediately. So even if you're just starting to learn it, positioning matters. Your soft skills matter. So even if you don't have that much professional experience with it, don't emphasize your level of experience with it, but show that and emphasize that you're being proactive in learning it on the side outside of work, and then learning these new skills because you want to stay relevant in the current market. I get it. Interviewing and hiring can feel like it's a broken process, but it's a game that we have to play if we want to get the jobs that we want. So, understanding how to play the game is what matters most. Because at the end of the day, the people who check the right boxes and play the game the best way they can get the jobs. So, make sure you're one of them. Now that you know the truth that tools matter more than just skills, the next question is, where is the best opportunities for data analysts? Most people are applying in the wrong places, competing with thousands of other people, but there's a hidden job market that hardly anyone talks about. In my next video, I'll show you exactly where to look and how to stand out. So click that video